Welcome to episode 43 of Star Wars and Scotch. This one is pre-recorded.
Audio only.
Yeah, Tim and I are finding it harder to commit to Monday nights. We're both very, very busy. Rare Drop gets busier by the day. So this gives us a little buffer. We're still going to deliver the episode on Tuesday, but if Tim and I need to pivot, we can do it on a Friday. We can do it on a Thursday or on a Saturday or Sunday. It just gives us more versatility. Will we ever be live again? Let's answer that question. Abso-freaking-lutely. I could totally see me and Tim getting back on to do the Mandalorian episodes because those are always hot topics. And we've discussed game nights. We just have to figure it out how to fit it in the schedule. I can tell you this. None of those will exist before GCX because we're a little bit... Speaking of GCX, make sure you go over to gcxevent.com and get your tickets to the event this year. We are doing so much cool stuff. All the announcements are rolling out within the next, I would say, 3 to 4 weeks of what we're doing. It's the same week as a charity marathon, so it is literally one big, awesome celebration this year. So go over to gcxevent.com, get your tickets. I promise you it'll be worth it. Also, GCX has a deal that you can get 22% off if you buy your ticket for next year when we return to in person. So, and that is limited. So once those sell out, they gone.
That's the joy of this year's event is that you get to visit from all over the world.
Yeah, if you don't know what we're talking about, we built a space station in Unreal Engine with the development team, and you'll have an avatar. It's fully customizable. You'll be able to run around.
It's like playing a video game.
Yep, there'll be booths. There'll be panels. You'll be able to watch a charity marathon. Meet and greets. Tim is well. Whoops! I almost said something I shouldn't. Paperwork needs to be signed before I'm allowed to say that Tim was doing a meet and greet on this.
Edit it out.
Don't edit it out. They need to hear the mistakes. So, yeah, that's GCX's here. Let's talk about Star Wars because Bad Batch released now a week ago today. Tim and I are recording this on a Tuesday because I was on vacation.
Yeah, this is Kevin's
weekend.
fault that we didn't cover the first episode.
100%. Totally fine with that. Totally fine with that. But we're going to talk about 2 episodes. But before we talk about Bad Batch, because I feel like we could close out the episode, Dave was on Good Morning America.
Oh, our good old
last
buddy
week.
Dave.
And he was asked about Mandalorian 3. And this is his exact, season 3. This is his exact quote. Are you ready?
Yep.
I have to be careful.
Oh, boy.
I can't really say anything specific.
Oh, boy.
Tim's about to get mad. But I think the Force will be strong with this. Let's just say that he's squinting and he's not happy.
Oh, man.
Just share your feelings with everyone.
I really hope. I really hope it's not just like some Luke thing. Oh no!
You don't think we're gonna see Luke building the Jedi Temple?
I don't care. I want to see Mandalorian stuff. I want to see Din and Bo kicking ass on Mandalore. I don't care about Grogu and Luke. I love Grogu. I think he's awesome, but I just don't care.
What if it is a split between Luke forming the new school and gathering these children and the politics of retaking Mandalore from the remnants of the Empire? Or figuring out what the hell happened. The big thing is we don't know what happened to Mandalore, so we're completely
and that's
speculating.
why I feel like the entire season could be completely just captivated by that. But I feel like the what is a good way to classify these fans? The casual fans, I guess, is the only way to put it. The casual Star Wars fans that only like the lightsaber and the Force are going to get lost because they just don't care as much about Mandalore and the Mandalorian people. So if there's like no direct connection for them to the Star Wars they know, then maybe they're afraid of losing them.
You don't think there's a now after 2 seasons that there's a heightened interest in who Mandalorians are at this point?
I don't know. I don't know if they care enough, like when it comes to the Mandalorian history and like all of that stuff that's like really nerdy. I don't think the casual Star Wars fan cares, but I could be wrong.
I think the Mandalorian has done a fantastic job of melding the casual with the lore nerd.
I think
and I
so
think
too.
You can
but
present Mandalore in that and continue telling that story that way.
That's the only thing I could think of is like, unless there's going to be more Ahsoka tie-ins, That I could see more of, or maybe an Ezra tie-in. Maybe that's what they're talking about. I don't know. I just like if it does end up focusing on Luke, I don't know if I'll like it. I don't know if I'd be a fan of it. I'll probably enjoy it. I'll probably still watch every episode like I do, but yeah, I don't know.
You can't have Luke be a major character because then you have to do unless you're getting Sebastian Stan.
But that's
You
the
would
whole
have to
problem
do
is,
face swapping the whole time.
yeah, you'd have to. Yeah, you would have to be doing deep fake the entire time, and we know we've seen it time and time again. They can't nail it. It always ends up looking jarring. The technology's just not there yet. I feel like, and when you said like Luke not being a main like character is like he would always end up being a main character. Like there's no way to he would steal the spotlight every time. It would end up being like the new Grogu thing.
For me, it would also weaken the impact of him showing up at the end of last season.
Yeah,
if he's
agree.
like a major character, because that was such a pivotal moment in Star Wars history. Because the last time we saw a young Luke, was what, 1987? What time?
1987 was Return of the Jedi.
Release date was 1983.
Oh shit, I was off by a couple years.
So yeah, the last time we saw a young Luke was 1983, and then we saw one in 2020. So, I think it would weaken that. Now, like you said, what if it means the introduction of Ezra now, which would bridge into the Ahsoka series then?
Yeah, or they just keep that for Ahsoka. I don't know which one would be more. I don't know which one would be more interesting to see if he shows up on Mandalorian or he shows up on Ahsoka.
The only other person I could think of that could be a Force wielder that could show up, which again you would hate, but it would play into the story.
Don't say Mace Windu.
No.
Don't say Mace Windu.
I'm going off of who we know is still alive.
Okay, good.
Would be Emperor Palpatine. And it would play into I know you say it's not, but if that Vat was one of the failed clones that became what Snoke is or whatever,
yeah,
then that would make sense.
Don't think that's. I still don't think that.
I'm throwing shit at the wall and seeing.
Yeah, of course. I still have a hard time believing that there was a cloning facility there.
Well,
yeah, I don't know. That's really interesting.
We're gonna see in Bad Batch, aren't we? Gonna see? I think it was in one of the previews.
Oh wait, but hold on. When does Ahsoka come out?
Right?
Ahsoka doesn't come out until after Mandalorian season 3, right?
Yeah, the next show is Book of Boba,
Book
which
of
leads
Boba,
to Mandalorian,
and then Mandalorian season 3, and
then Obi-Wan, then Ahsoka.
Yeah, so Ahsoka is going to be off for a while. So I wonder if Rosario Dawson just comes back
to keep her in everyone's.
I would think so. You don't want her to show up for one episode and then just peace out. Like that's too much. And she's also connected with Bo.
I wonder if there's something with her. If they says the Force is strong, communing with maybe like Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Force ghosts to bridge to something that happened with her, because she's 100% going to be in the Obi-Wan show. Like they're going to make contact.
I mean, it would be silly for her not to.
Because she's the only, besides Cal Kestis, Obi-Wan and her are the only Jedi and Grogu are the 4 who survived the purge and Kanan. I keep adding to it.
Keep on going, Kevin. Who else is in there?
But Kanan's a kid, so I doubt he'll be in the Obi-Wan show, which we saw him in Bad Batch. We'll talk about later.
Wait, when is Kanan a kid?
Kanan's a kid during Order 66.
Oh, yeah, we were talking about at what point with Obi-Wan in the show?
I'm trying to figure out like what could bridge to a Force user showing up in Mandalorian. I'm thinking of who's still alive. You and me both think having Cal Kestis show up in any form is stupid and terrible. So Luke. I hope that's not on the table. Luke, obviously, we saw him. Ahsoka, obviously, we saw her. Force goes to Obi-Wan, Yoda, maybe.
I don't think they're going to do that.
I don't think so either. I'm just saying the only other Force user that we know is alive is the Emperor.
But he's not alive.
And you said all the Inquisitors are dead now. Yes,
all
he
the
is.
He's not alive.
His essence is living in like a shell of a body. Yeah, but it doesn't make him
alive, though. It doesn't, like, a ghost is like, a ghost is a ghost.
But he's still pulling the strings.
Yeah, but he's not alive. He's like in limbo. Alive, like, I feel like when you say alive, like he's
He can still use the Force.
So he's still a part of the living Force.
Right, because he's still using it against Rey and Rise of Skywalker.
But, I mean, like, technically, that still make that then. Okay, would you say that Yoda's Force Ghost makes him technically still alive?
No.
Okay, all right, but Yoda made the lightning hit the tree.
Yeah. I will say this: the Jedi and Sith have different afterlives.
Yeah, but okay, yeah, it's just like that's the hard thing is like the Emperor really like his spirit's still like out there. He's just able to utilize the Force in a very, very dark, manipulative way where he can still like possess. He's a demon. He's like possessing bodies. If you want to look at it that way.
Well, they got the idea from the Eternal Emperor from Old Republic Legends. Although he does it way cooler than Palpatine did it. But if you connect Legends, then Palpatine did it because he read the excerpts from Valkorion. Was it Valkorion? I forget his name. He goes by 75 names. Vitiate, whatever his name is. Journal on how to do it. Either way, the other interesting thing from the TV world is that I don't think it was confirmed, but the rumor is there that we will see the first live action Inquisitors in the Obi-Wan show.
Yeah, that's gonna be really cool.
That's supposedly what's her face who played Ilaria Sand, who got hired for the show. She was in Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Prince Oberyn's lover.
Yeah. No, she'll be. She. You know who she looks like? She looks like the chick in Fallen Order.
She does look like her. I doubt like that they will because she's older.
Yeah, but she looked a lot alike. I mean, like the time frame's similar.
Well, we'd have to see because there's how many Inquisitors? There's only like 20 or 30, right?
There's not a lot.
And we know when some of them die.
Who was she? Was she seventh sister? No.
She was
fifth sister.
Ninth sister was the huge one that you kill in Fallen Order.
Yeah, so
I remember that.
What was she?
Seventh.
Was she second?
I think seventh was one of the ones in Clone. Seventh was the one in Clone Wars.
And is she second sister?
Second sister.
It was either seventh or second. She's second. Okay.
She's second sister.
Yeah, so
yes.
second sister, Trilla. She could be Trilla, and it would work out really, really well.
You don't think she's too old?
I don't know. I think this would work.
Maybe.
I think
she's got the face for it.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, her character's already kind of made up. She was like one of the more powerful, and I mean, because she was a fallen apprentice. She was a fallen apprentice that turned Inquisitor.
This picture of her actually sells it for me. Here, I'll send it to you right now. This one kind of like really.
We had talked about this in the past, though, is like who would he go up against, and like Inquisitors made a lot of sense because that's when they were at their peak.
Yeah, but in my opinion. Here's the catch-22 for the whole Obi-Wan show, and it will be explained. He can't be doing this on Tatooine. I have a feeling he's going to lead them on a wild goose chase to get them away from Luke.
Sure. Well,
that's what I think. Like because it's a mini series. It's only a few episodes, and
like
that's it. We're not getting it.
Yeah,
we're not getting a show.
Yeah.
So it's a mini. So you figure it's like 2 movies. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
I think he's going to lead them away from Luke, and that's how we're going to get off Tatooine, because he's going to know, like, they know that Obi-Wan is hiding on Tatooine. He's hiding something. What could he be hiding?
Oh, my God. Well, that would make sense why Obi-Wan would end up fighting Vader again, especially if Inquisitors are involved. Obi-Wan might end up going to either Mustafar, to Vader's castle, or goes to the place that we go to in the Fallen Order. The Inquisitor training area. Yeah. Whatever that planet was.
The underwater one.
Yeah, the underwater one. That's really interesting. Now the Vader part of this makes more sense if Inquisitors are involved.
Right. And no one can find out that Luke is there because Vader doesn't realize that Obi-Wan was hiding him until the original trilogy, which happens after. So,
and if Luke had any type of if he was emitting any type of power or any type of manipulation of force, that they would know right away.
Right. So I feel like he's leading them away from Tatooine in the show. That's what it is. And at some point, either Ahsoka comes to help him, or they cross paths and she helps him. I think he's going to like get into a pickle and have to call out the Force to find her. Because does he know she's alive?
Who? Obi-Wan?
No, he has no idea.
No, Obi-Wan has no idea. Because he leaves the temple, goes to the medical frigate, and then goes to Tatooine.
Right, and gives it to Uncle Lars and says that he's gonna watch over the child. And then gives. So he has no idea Ahsoka's alive either. So that'll be a shock to, and she has no idea he's alive.
Nope.
The
Wonderful see the Grand Inquisitor. Oh,
here's my. Oh my god! And did you see who would play him if it is
No.
the dude who played the Malfoy's dad in Harry Potter?
Oh my god, he's great. I can't remember his name. He was like in the Patriot and stuff. That he would be perfect. Oh my gosh.
Yes, him. That's who everyone says they want to play the Grand Inquisitor
oh
if he's ever live action.
So good.
So Obi-Wan, and again, these people can't die because they're in other media. So you'd have to have some fodder Inquisitors for Obi-Wan to kill along
Right,
the way.
exactly.
But like Grand Inquisitor can't die, the second sister can't die.
I would
like,
honestly, I would like to see the Inquisitors in more because I don't feel like they got their fair share in Rebels. Like they were around for what, a season?
They chased them for like a season and a half.
Like a season and a half. Like I feel like the Grand Inquisitor's death was really just anticlimactic.
I felt so too, and the Grand Inquisitor too was the only one I felt like was a threat to them.
Yeah, everybody else
seemed
was
to handle
like a
all the rest.
pushover.
Kanan and Ahsoka had no problems with it. The only other person in Rebels that was like uber threat was Thrawn and Maul.
Yeah, but Thrawn wasn't even like a threat physically. He was more of a threat
mentally, but he always found the rebels and figured out where they were, found the planet when the planet was hiding. Like Thrawn's no
joke.
You
will understand why he can do that when you read the books.
3 hours into the last Aftermath book.
The newest Thrawn book is really, really good.
I can't wait. We got another High Republic coming out in 2 months too.
Oh crap. There's so much Star Wars, dude.
I'm okay with that. Well, moving on from the television shows. That's all the news from that. We got the announcement from Disney that the Galactic Starcruiser will be coming to Walt Disney World in 2022. Confirmed. The Halcyon Starcruiser. It was supposed to open last September, but due to COVID-19, it didn't happen. So I'm assuming they're going to give us the big reveal at Celebration next year, the inside of it, the tour, what you get, and then be like, tickets are on sale now. So I'm going to have F5 ready, Tim, on my phone since we'll be there.
We need to go.
Yes, we need to go. But the things they've been showing from it, if you don't know what we're talking about, A, why are you listening to this podcast? B, Disney is creating an immersive Star Wars experience where you get out of your car and you go through this tunnel and you are in Star Wars. Everything is RP. Everything is in universe, to the point where unless you leave the Starcruiser to like go to Galaxy's Edge or something like that, anytime you look out a window, it is ships, stars, and planets.
Yeah, it's all screens.
The Starcruiser is constantly moving, so you're going to different planets and visiting them. There's 40 different starships as of right now that you will see. There is a artist's rendering of how it looks on the Star Wars website in the Hyperspace Lounge, it's called, which looks f***ing awesome. And there's like X-Wings flying by and the Falcons out there. It's even the Naboo starfighters are in there.
Everything is just like what I love about this is that they've designed this to make it seem like you're on a cruise, like a 2-night cruise. And they have a bunch of different POIs that you get to go to. So like Coruscant, Mustafar, Tatooine, Batu, Endor. So it's just like if you're gonna have like a 2-night trip down to Mexico, you get to hit a couple spots and then go home. I think that's so neat.
So it's booked, like Tim said, as a cruise. So there's a path you take around the universe, and the story on the ship plays out as you're on there. So you can only book 2 days. It's not a hotel. It is an experience. And you go to Coruscant, you go to Mustafar, you go to Tatooine, Batu, and Endor are the ones that are confirmed. You'll see different ships on different planets corresponding to the planet. They're really, really taking this to the next level. All the staff is complete RP. You will not be able to go in there and say, how do I get to Toy Story Land? They will look at you like you have 5 heads and be like, I'm sorry. The entrance to Batu is that way. You know, you can get off and go to Batu. So it is a fully immersive experience. I'm excited to learn more because there's supposed to be activities and all sorts of crazy things you can do. I heard lightsaber classes and just crazy, crazy cool stuff. So
well they also like their new lightsaber that they showed off. It's supposed to go live with this, and they do have a lightsaber training area on the ship. So I assume that's what it was designed for, right?
No, because the new lightsaber is for performance only has been confirmed.
Oh, boo!
It is not ready for consumers yet. So the actors or the cast members will be the ones that have those lightsabers, not us. So the confirmed amenities, as you go in, so you're going to go to the cruise terminal, get out of your car. They're going to valet your car for you, and then you're going to go into a launch pod to get to
leave something in your car.
You ain't getting it back for 2 days. Supposedly you can leave and go to Batu and whatnot, so you can break the immersion if you need to. Then you have the atrium. What's up, Hunter? Hunter, come here. We went to Walt Disney World, and Hunter and I got to ride the Rise of the Resistance. Without giving away a spoiler, what did you think of it?
It was a little scary for me.
Why?
Because because of one of the parts. It was scary on that part.
Okay.
Nice.
It was fun.
And I was wondering if you could watch me like stay in my room until mommy comes.
Yeah, when I'm done, I'll be right there, okay? Sorry, we're dads. You get to experience all of this in real time.
But it's cool.
So they have the atrium
out if they want to.
Yeah, I guess so.
If we wanted to, we just edit it out.
I'll tell Max. So then there's the atrium, which is everything I'm seeing is there's going to be droids walking around, people in full, uniform, and aliens. That's the vibe I'm getting. I don't know if that's the truth, but that's what all the artists rendering. I don't know if that's the artist taking liberties or if that is the plan. Operate on the bridge. You can operate the ship's navigation and defense system under the crew's guidance.
I don't think that's a bad idea.
That feels like a mini game to me.
That feels like kids are going to blow up a planet.
Kyler's going to go in there and be like, now you will witness the power of this fully operational battle station.
I don't know why they gave us a planet-destroying weapon on this cruise ship, but they just told us not to hit this button.
The Sith did nothing wrong. Wield a lightsaber, as Tim said. So in the artist rendering, it's like Luke with the little training droid. I don't know if it'll be that interactive, but we'll find out next year. The cabins, there's different types, so there are like suites and whatnot. I'm hearing that the base price for 2 nights is $3,600.
Oh
so
my
$1,800
God.
a night. That's what I'm hearing. No one has confirmed anything, but apparently this is going to be beyond the premium.
Are meals and everything included?
Yes, everything is included.
Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, so is it per person? It's $3,600 a night.
That was a family of 4, I think.
Okay, so if meals are included and breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and all your snacks, desserts and stuff at night, blah 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 blah. That's really not bad. And then you also get like all of the interactive stuff on the ship and all the activities. I mean,
and passes to the parks.
Yeah. Passes. The park passes are included.
From this person's estimate based on what they've seen. This is not actual information. This is someone that has inside knowledge.
And I know I know rooms are limited. It's not going to be a multitude of rooms inside of like a big resort. It's a small area
because they want a curated experience. So they want X amount of people. It's probably only a couple hundred at a time can experience this. But there are different types of cabin, but there's no windows. So anytime you when you go to sleep, space. When you wake up, space.
Yeah, it's LED monitors.
That's just wild
screens.
To me.
Yeah.
The Sublight Lounge, which we mentioned before, in the picture of the Sublight Lounge, Tim, they're playing Sabacc. So I want to know, or that whatever that I don't know what it's called, but the chess game that Chewie and Luke are playing. I have
no idea what that's called.
But man, would I love to play that. And then the dining room's called the Crown of Corellia. It looks like a cruise ship dining room, just your average. But those are the things that are confirmed.
That's cool.
I'd be willing to spring for the price of it and see. It feels like the perfect experience for the Uber Star Wars nerd. I want to know more. And I think, like I said, that's when they'll explain like the full breadth of everything next year. So
when is this supposed to go live? What is the launch
just
date?
says 2022, which is why I think it'll be after Celebration, and they're going to go ham with it on Celebration,
and when is
showing
the 50th
everything off.
anniversary? Or 100th anniversary, sorry.
50th starts in October.
It is the 50th. Okay.
50th of Disney World.
Oh, Disney World, right. Okay.
Yeah. So maybe to conclude the 50th anniversary, they'll cut the ribbon on the Starcruiser or something. Do like media and celebs only to start.
Well, by that point, Kevin, you'll be best friends with, like, I don't know, someone high up at Disney or Lucas, and I'm sure you can get us in.
You have people that follow you that could get us in too. You'll work on that. I have a feeling it's going to be one of those experiences that's just impossible to get to, so it might take a year or two to even get on.
Not holding
so
my
I'm
breath.
fully prepared to not go on this till I'm in my 40s. And that's okay.
It's going to be his bucket
I'll get on
list.
it.
It'll be 80. I've been dreaming of this day for 50 years.
Don't, no offense, but I don't know if I could. Like, I don't want to take my youngest daughter at her age, and I'm sure Tim shares the same sentiment.
No, because that experience is not designed for them. It's not a resort, like you said. It's an experience.
Right.
And to bring
my
a
oldest
kid
daughter
on there, yeah, dude, most definitely. Like, honestly, I want to do that by myself. I don't even know if Amy would have fun. I would have fun. I would love it. But remember, 2 things. 1, Star Wars was made for kids. 2, Disneyland and Disney World were also designed for children. This experience in of itself is most heartedly in all purity designed for children. That is it. The adults are sideshows. So, like, I would assume that, yeah, it's going to be dope, but it's definitely targeted at the kids.
Yep. I agree. Well, that's the Starcruiser. Do you want to take a quick second and thank some of our 25 plus Patreons? Not 25 the number, $25.
Are they 25 years old and up?
No, they've supported us with $25 a month or more.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, guys.
So New Nerd, thank you for $250 a month.
Damn, dude.
And Jack, thank you for 85. I believe that's pounds.
What's that?
Oh wait, no, 100 USD. I had to look at the conversion there. Aether with 25, Darkless with 25, Experimental with 25, Jedi, Justin McMahon, Legendary Ladman, hey, I know you, Matt LaRue, Neil Anderson, Paul Marzik, PD Club, Philip Snyder, Respect, Stephen Purd, and Wow Dad.
Wow,
Thank you so much for your awesome support of our Patreon.
Thank
and
you,
all
guys.
of the anyone below that too. We appreciate you. There's just a ton of names, so we're gonna read those 25ers and up, and then we'll read any new patrons, and we will take questions still. We're gonna have Paul change the post to a standing post for the entire week, so Tim and I can field those questions for you. Cool. Let's talk about the Bad Batch right out of the freaking gate with a 70-minute episode.
It was so good. I was hoping that episode 2 was going to be that long because I absolutely loved this format. It was so good.
It was a great. It was another view of Order 66, and I don't think you could ever tell me enough viewpoints of Order 66, and I would be less interested because every time I see a different one, it's so interesting to me, and it's like putting those 500-piece puzzles together.
Yeah. Did you like how they did a perfect one-to-one recreation of episode 3 in the intro of like what is happening at the beginning of episode 1 of Bad Batch? They showed Grievous and Anakin and Obi-Wan fighting in the cockpit of the main ship.
Yes.
And it was perfectly, like, someone put side by side the Bad Batch.
Oh, I didn't see this.
And episode 3, those scenes, they put them right next to each other, and it was perfectly done in engine of the movie scene. It was beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Now I'm Googling it.
Yeah, it's really good.
Revenge of the Sith comparison here. I found it.
But you and I were actually talking about this morning, and I had read I was reading through reviews of like what people thought of the show so far, and kind of just like overviews if I missed anything, and They open up the first episode with Star Wars Clone Wars, and then it burns away to Bad Batch. And that didn't really click in my head until I read this review, and it's Bad Batch is Clone Wars season 8. And I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, it really is. Like, but you can't call it Clone Wars because the Clone Wars is over, and there's really nothing left because now that Order 66 has happened, the clones have now turned into just the bad guys. They're the bad guys. So like you have nothing left to tell from the clones' point of view, which is a lot of what Clone Wars is about. It was like, yeah, it was about the Jedi and whatnot, but a lot of it focused on like the really cool personalities of the individual clones. So it's like it's really crazy to see all of that flip, but they do such a beautiful job, and they really start to set the tone for Rebels, which I really like too. Is that you've got this really beautiful transition from Clone Wars into Bad Batch, and now Bad Batch is going to set the stage for you to go into Rebels, which I think is just really, really cool. Dave has done such a beautiful job with this.
I told you this morning, it's interesting to look at Order 66 from the perspective of the clones. We got a glimpse of it in the final season of Clone Wars with Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm.
And that was an emotional roller coaster because of the 501st and her relationship with them.
Yeah.
And then with Rex as well. So that was, and Cody was there. No, Cody's with Obi-Wan. So that was rough, but it also makes in episode 3, the Cody scene with Obi-Wan. The first time you see it, you're like, yeah, whatever. After watching all of Clone Wars, you're like, ooh, those two fought side by side throughout this entire war.
Yep.
So it really frames it. This one was very cool to me. If you didn't catch it, Caleb, the Padawan in the beginning, that is Kanan Jarrus from Rebels, which there were some slight retcons to fit that in, but I think it's better off this way. The way Dave explained it away was that we didn't see Caleb's whole experience.
Yeah.
With Order 66, so this was just another part of it, but we do see Caleb or Kanan's master die at the hands of their clones.
Yeah, I didn't catch that the first time, and then when I started reading on Twitter, there were people that were upset because they feel like they kind of just like brushed over it.
I think it's an Easter egg. That's all it is.
And that's all it was. And like people wanted them to focus on it, but it's like all that is just connecting another dot for this to be the bridge. That's all this is that this is just collecting all of these moments and stuff that you hear in Rebels, you know, and whatnot. Like this is just setting the stage, and people forget that.
So okay, this is something I didn't pick up on. They probably mentioned it. Also, more Tarkin, love it.
Yes.
Tarkin not having Death Troopers was interesting to me, though. He has like his own sort of clone guards, but no Death Troopers.
Because the Death Trooper program didn't start until later.
Right. It's just interesting to not see an Imperial officer to me at this point without the high-ranking ones. Because even What's-His-Face has them in Rogue One when they introduced them. I forget his name.
Yeah, but there's a lot of time between.
Oh yeah, there's a ton of time.
Yeah, because I mean, like we're literally looking at hours. Like I think that's what's so cool is it's literally hours after Order 66.
But even hours later, the uniform has changed. They're already like
he was already wearing that uniform. That was his uniform from when he was wearing in Clone Wars. That was still the Imperial or the.
But the stripes are Imperial stripes now. They changed the stripes.
Oh, did they? Well, they didn't give him. He doesn't have the plaque though. Does he?
He has it at the beginning of this episode.
Oh, did he have it up already?
Episode 1, yeah. I'm looking at a screenshot right now. Like the first time we see him in this, he's wearing the new stripes.
Then yeah, things did flip over very quickly.
But I'm sure that was the Emperor trying to out with the old, in with the new.
I still, speaking of Death Troopers, I still think that the Bad Batch, the modified, the genetic modification programs. That was the foundation. These genetically enhanced super soldiers, like that is a Death Trooper.
Jumping ahead in my notes, do you think that Omega is some sort of link to the Death Trooper?
No, I do not. I think Omega is a Jedi clone hybrid.
Oh, I never thought of that.
I didn't think we were gonna jump. I thought we were gonna save that one for later. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna hit you with this. Omega
Oh.
touches. Is it Crosshair? Yeah. She touches Crosshair, and she looks at him, and she says, "Don't do it. What you're about to do, don't do it." She can see into the future.
So Omega
She's force sensitive. I think that she is a clone. It also explains why she's female and not male.
right.
I think that she is a clone. The base Django clone, but she is a hybrid of some Jedi of some sort.
So what if the idea was to create more Inquisitors using the same method that they used to create Omega, or more Force users? I don't know, whatever we want to call it at this point. But somehow this links to the future with why they want Grogu so bad.
It could. This could be. This could explain, and we might get to a point in Bad Batch that will link the Kaminoan doctor in the first season of The Mandalorian.
I was going to ask this earlier because we were talking about Kamino, but isn't there a scene in the trailer where Kamino's like destroyed and on fire?
I don't remember.
Because the Kaminoans are not going along with the way the Empire is treating them.
I assumed that was a shot from the first when they were fighting Crosshair, but I could be wrong. So they might end up coming back for Crosshair. Maybe they want to get him back. I don't know. But yeah,
which leads me to my question: does the Bad Batch not have their chips, or are their chips defective?
No,
except Crosshair, obviously.
So I don't think they have their chips. I think Crosshair is the only one that has the chip. And that's why he was the only one that was feeling the side effects. They said his genetic alterations they were affecting the chip. I think he was a test subject to see, could a genetic modified clone, could it handle a chip as well? Because none of the other guys have it. None of them were getting bothered by Order 66 being transmitted except for Crosshair.
Right, because he even said what's the line? The good soldier obeys orders.
Yeah, exactly. And they all were saying that at the end of last season of Rebel or of Clone Wars.
Right. Okay, I wasn't sure if they had explained that.
I think that, well, they didn't really do a good job of explaining it. I think you either figure it out on your own or they'll explain it later. But he's the only one that had the effect, that we're feeling effects. Omega doesn't even have this chip. I really think Crosshair was a test subject for this.
I think they're going to go back to Kamino to either rescue him, or figure it, because Hunter didn't know. He was super surprised when Tech assumed that everyone knew what was causing it.
No. So Tech understood that it was a chip. Like he was like, it's a chip, because how else would they be like transmitting a code into their brains?
Right.
So that's he just figured it out because he's just super smart.
So do you remember the body that they're carrying through the hallway right after they get back to Kamino, the clones? It's covered with a sheet.
Yes.
People are saying that's Shaak Ti, because apparently lightsaber.
It should be Shaak Ti.
Yeah, and
so
line up with everything.
The only reason why it's Jedi Master Shaak Ti is because she was the Jedi Master that was assigned to training the clones on Kamino, and she's there in multiple episodes in Clone Wars. Which sucks because Shaak Ti's really cool, and she's another Togruta.
Whose master was who was her Padawan?
I don't remember.
Somebody in Clone Wars was her Padawan, and I can't remember who it is.
But yeah.
Oh, you know who else survives Order 66? What's his name from Clone Wars with the yellow paint on his face and the dreadlocks? He does. The one, you know who I'm talking about, right?
The Jedi?
Yeah.
The
crazy one?
The wild guy who jumps out of the dropship?
Yeah, he survives Order 66 too.
Oh, isn't he in one of the comics?
No, he's in the background of, I think it's Attack of the Clones.
Oh, okay.
People are like, oh my gosh, it's a cameo. I'm like, no, they were probably like, hey, that guy in the back looks cool. Let's make him a Jedi in Clone Wars. So, yeah, the Shaak Ti thing was another little Easter egg. This isn't in here, and Tim and I were going back and forth on this. The troopers that the Bad Batch fights during Tarkin's test, they look like early versions or some iteration of an earlier Dark Trooper, just on body structure. That's all I'm saying.
So I was looking at some reviews and seeing like what people thought, and a lot of people they ended up agreeing with what I had ended up coming up with, is that they looked like a heavily modified super battle droid. It was definitely more like battle droid than it was anything else. It was it seemed like a hybridization of like the two ideas of like what would happen if we took like a Dark Trooper and we put it in like an early model Dark Trooper and a super battle droid together, and it kind of like that's what you come up with.
So this is 28 years before Mandalorian, which means Phase 3 Dark Troopers in Mandalorian. This could be exactly what you said, and this could be the canon Disney version of how we get Dark Troopers.
And so so the Empire goes, hey, these super battle droids were really cool.
Right.
Why don't we, and the clones are worthless. Like, we can't trust them. Like, why don't we do what the Separatists were doing? Just make our own droids. And here we are.
Yep. I
thought this was really cool. That was another really cool thing about Bad Batch, is that it's really showing more of like the internal workings of the Empire. As you see from Tarkin when he's like, we don't need to pay the Kaminoans all this money for clones when we can just go ahead and just start recruiting normal people.
Right.
And that's exactly what, and what's funny is that it was like reverse of the attitude in episode 7 with when they were like, we can just always go back to the cloners and we can start getting clones again.
Right.
I just thought that was really funny, just like seeing like the mentality shift of like in Tarkin's mind, everybody's dead, and there's no one that can stand in our way. What's the point in wasting all this money on super soldiers when we can just have just like farmers essentially do the same job?
You're also looking 40, 50 years of learning why recruiting half the galaxy to fight in your war when, you have probably a bunch of Finns who don't want to do it. Even in the unused, remember when we read the comic of the unused episode 7 script or episode 9 script, like the clones the stormtroopers that were just over it and revolted and whatnot. There's probably a ton of them. So by then Tarkin's gone. Because at this point, to me, Tarkin has always hated clones. And this seems to be a Tarkin decision, not an Emperor decision. That he's like, no, we're going to recruit in the galaxy. I'm in charge now. Yeah. He's very full of himself in this Bad Batch.
Well, he's never liked the clones. He didn't even like them in the Clone Wars.
Hated them during the Clone Wars. And they
were useless.
They referenced it numerous times. Mm-hmm. Yet he's fine with clone guards.
Yeah, right.
So it is funny that they reference back to that, but I think that's why they've recruited half the galaxy at this point. They just don't want to do it anymore. I really enjoyed. So one thing I thought was weird was every other time we see Clone Force 99, the clones are like, oh my God, it's Clone Force 99. Like they're the coolest spec ops, whatever you want to call them.
Sure.
Then Order 66 happens and everyone hates them all of a sudden. Understand the chip. The thing that I didn't get was when they're in the mess and they get into the fight. Wrecker says this happens all the time. Does it mean that Wrecker just gets into fist fights for fun? Or
probably. He looks like a guy that would. Okay, all right. So hold on, wait. So let's roll back. So what did you enjoy? And then and you're confused with what?
I'm confused with them basically kind of saying that Clone Force 99 was like this really well-liked group among the clones.
So that's what you really liked, and then what confused you was that they were treated like crap after that. Okay,
I thoroughly enjoyed the switch.
I got it.
The chip change, because that's what happened with.
I got confused. So I was trying to figure that out, and this is the one thing that I could think of is that the 501st and those guys, they knew the Bad Batch. They had fought beside them and whatnot. The guys that were treating them like crap, those were still like your base grunt like clones that haven't fought yet. Those are probably like the clones that have gone through all the training, but they haven't even left Kamino to go fight because there's no reason for them to go because the war's over, right? So They probably have no idea who the Bad Batch is. That was the only way that I could figure that out, because you're right. Because when we first met the Bad Batch, everybody was like, oh, these are the badasses that we've heard of. But I think that's just around like the 501st, around like Luke and Obi-Wan's divisions. That was the only way that I could figure that out.
Okay. I'm sure there's an explanation.
Unless the inhibitor chip literally kills them and it like kills all of their personalities and it turns them into mind-numb zombies, which I would hate.
So before we jump to episode 2, I'll say this about Crosshair. It was definitely a twist to have Crosshair not like right out of the gate. It's one thing 6 episodes in and all of a sudden, you're like, oh my God, his inhibitor chip was on the whole entire time. This is super interesting to me, and I'm trying to figure out what they're doing with it, because right out of the gate, we are not the complete Bad Batch that was marketed, promised, etc., etc.
You need an antagonist. Like they need a bad guy. But there's no bad guy right now, right? Like the separatists are gone. You can't bring in Darth Vader because Anakin would kill everybody. The Emperor's too strong. And everything else that we know that's bad right now isn't in existence. The Inquisitor program hasn't started yet. Thrawn isn't around. So who do we make bad? Well, let's make a clone bad. Let's turn the one thing that we love. Like everybody loves the clones. Well, let's make one of them like a bad guy. That pulls in your heartstrings. You know that they're brothers, and then now he's trying to kill them all. It's great. It's perfect.
It was just the fact that it happened so quickly.
But that's so good. Like, I think that's so dope. And then he'll have his like redemption moment where he has to fight the programming, and then I'm sure he's gonna die. Guarantee you, Kevin, halfway through the season, Crosshair's gonna die.
But then no, they're not gonna kill him, Tim.
No, definitely kill him.
No.
Okay.
He will rejoin the group at some point.
I think he's gonna bite the dust.
No, he's gonna get Rexed and get that chip yanked out of his head.
He's gonna fight it. He's gonna be like,
why
but I
would
have
they?
to. Nah, good soldier. But I love them. Takes a bullet.
They've been building this group up for so long. You can't kill one of them in season 1.
Yeah, but he's not like really cool. He's not like one of the really neat.
He's the sniper.
Yeah, but he's not like Wrecker though. Like Wrecker's really cool. I love him. He's got a great character. Hunter's really awesome. He's very enjoyable. Tech is great, dude. Echo is fantastic. Like they're all awesome. And Crosshair's kind of just like, he's very edgy. He's like, I'm just gonna sit in the corner. But now he's a bad guy.
Fives was the one that freaked out and started saying it too soon, right? In Clone Wars.
Fives was the one that had the mental breakdown, and
started saying a good soldier obeys orders.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it just came to me for some reason. Okay, so in episode 2, we go back to, I don't know how to say this planet. They say it so quickly. Salusami or whatever?
Something like that. Yeah, Salami.
Planet Salami.
Planet Salami.
And we get to see Cut again, who we saw in Clone Wars. Cut is like
10 years
deserter.
ago. Okay, so he's the deserter. But okay, they bring back a character that we saw for one episode, and he has, for some reason, kept in contact with all of the cool clones.
Here's my thing with Cut. He's a super important piece of the entire clone puzzle because he's the one that managed to get away and stay away. Granted, we came across other clones in all of the stuff that escaped and got away. Cut is the one who went and made a life for himself. He's got kids. He's got a wife.
He was the shining example of what a soldier could do if he just said no.
Or even a clone. Like he just decided to go be himself.
At that point, they were the only soldiers. The clones were it. And so like you could leave. You're not just a weapon. You can. There's more to your life. And I think that was what was so cool about his character. But still, they just like, it felt like they forced him into this episode for the sake of being a part of it.
No, I thought about why. Because when we left Cut was happily ever after, right?
Sure. Oh.
They wanted to showcase how disruptive the Empire was becoming right out of the gate.
Okay,
that
it's
even
not
the guy we knew that was happily ever after.
Kevin, they just want order. That's all they want. You know, like, okay, so hey, you guys aren't registered in any other database in the galaxy. Let's just come up with a system where we can identify everybody and track them and make sure we know where they're at. So in this episode, we get chain codes, which I think is awesome. I mean, like the U.S. government gives us social security numbers, right, Kevin? So what is so wrong about the Empire giving their well-obedient servants identification numbers. I don't think there's anything wrong with this.
Well, it helps us understand Mandalorian a lot more.
Oh yeah,
I was thrilled.
I think it's
Everyone's
great.
like, Bad Batch episode 2 was kind of slow. I was like, but the chain codes.
Yeah,
It
now
makes so much
we
more
know what a
sense
chain
now.
code is and how you get one.
It was good to understand. Now when Din says, or when the what's his name, the Imperial guy goes, I can only give you the last 4 digits. With a man of your talent, you should be able to find it easily. And he's like, the birthday, that's it. So it made Mandalorian, when they talk about chain codes, makes so much more sense. We know what a chain code is. We know how it was established, and we understand that it is for identification purposes. So at some point, the bounty hunters are using these to track people across the galaxy, because the Empire is using them to check where everyone is at all times.
The Empire really messed up. They really messed up. No double encryption on these chain codes. They're just open to everybody. You can just packet sniff your chain code whenever you want. What is this shit?
I mean, it is tech, though. It's not
But
like
still,
some
like, what is this
amateur
crap? Like, you have this thing that people can track anywhere in the galaxy, and like, no, there's no protection at all.
It's also version 1.0. They just rolled it out that day.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, the Emperor takes over the next day. They start rolling out chain codes. Like, oh my gosh.
Could you imagine that meeting with Palpatine? He's like, at the next order, we will make everyone in the galaxy register with a chain code number. What? A chain code. It'll be an identifier so we can track them wherever they go.
Anywhere?
Sounds like
Well, do it.
sounds like a lot of work, Sheev.
Just do it. Do it. Yeah, so that's our first Mandalorian like tie-in. I still think that Dave is going to use this as a platform to continue to answer certain questions that were left in Mandalorian. I really think the Kaminoan scientist, I think we're going to have a tie into that. There has to be.
Okay.
There has to be.
I think they will tie into more. I showed Tim the other day too. I finally sat down and read the Kylo Ren comics, and the space
Oh my God, that was so
station
good.
from Into the Dark, where we first meet the Drengir, is where Snoke's lair originally is.
Well, I mean, that makes sense. That's the most evil, one of the most evil places in the galaxy is the central part for the Drengir.
The 4 statues are in one of the comic frames.
Yeah, well,
Like,
because they
that's
were
how
left there to
detailed
suppress.
they've been.
So, okay, so then does that mean, since all the statues are there suppressing the Drengir, that means that they weren't moved again? That means the Drengir is at bay? Question mark?
Well, we don't know what happened to the Drengir.
Well, if those statues are there, that means that the main central portion of the Drengir is being suppressed by those statues. Regardless, that central point, like that area of like the Drengir is like the most like darkest of dark evil. So for that to be Snoke's lair is pretty badass. Even though he was a complete pushover in the movie, pretty badass.
Well, we'll see.
Because that means that, Kevin, that just ties into it being Palpatine even more. Because he would need like a dark well of power in order to like inhabit that and able to like project his spirit. He would need some dark well of energy to do that. I.e. the Drengir. What if he was sucking life from the Drengir to keep himself alive? Oh!
If the Drengir is still alive, we don't know if they are.
No, but they were sleeping. Remember, the statues were suppressing them. So what if he was just like slowly sucking the life from them?
But if you killed a Drengir, didn't like the ones under it die, or am I thinking of something else?
But they're not dead. They were just but the statues just suppressed them. They're not dead. Because as soon as the statues were removed, they woke them up. And then they put the statues back in the book. So that's what I'm thinking. The Drengir are still sleeping on the space station.
Well, we'll see. We got 3 more years to figure out that mystery.
To your point, it is really cool how they're continuously connecting everything through all the different mediums.
But they do it subtly. They don't shove it in your face to the point where you're like, they do it for the people like us, the people that want to dig deep.
Yep.
Right. And that's all it is. It's if you were watching Mandalorian and Ahsoka goes, you're like, oh, this Jedi's cool. You have no idea that A, she's not a Jedi, B, where she came from. But she's got really cool white. Oh, I've never seen a white lightsaber before. That's pretty nifty. And then at the end, they throw in the "Where's Grand Admiral Thrawn?" And me and Tim are like screaming at the top of our lungs. But my wife's like, "Huh? Who's that?"
Yep.
Tim,
Yes.
there was at Galaxy's Edge. There's a Thrawn. There is a Thrawn toy at Galaxy's Edge.
Oh fuck, man!
It's
Really?
like, but it's not like a figure. It's like a plushie doll.
Oh, shut up!
I turned to Rob from my buddy Rob, and I turned to him and I go, "Dude, go back 10 years and tell me that we'll be at Disney and there'll be a fucking Grand Admiral Thrawn plushie toy hanging on the wall over there while we're standing in Star Wars land." And he just busts out laughing. So, yeah, these connections are put in for us, and that is the beauty. Again, this goes back to like episode 1. This is the beauty of Star Wars, is that everything is building. So in Bad Batch, I have a feeling they're laying every episode so far. Both of them, it just feels like they're putting little things in between Kanan, the chain codes, Order 66, the little tease with the whatever the troopers are. But I do think they're the early like phase 1 or even like alpha beta prototype of what will become Dark Trooper phase 3 that we see in Mandalorian, and this will be Disney's version of it. Are you changing the lights?
No, I didn't do that. No, I didn't do that.
All of Tim's lights just flickered in his office.
No, it was like some weird power thing. Thank God for the battery backups. Nailed it, dude. Still recording, camera still rolling. Let's go, man. Woohoo! Max, you can just edit that part out.
The dark side is strong with this one.
That was weird. As you're talking about it, the lights start flickering and stuff. That was terrifying, Kevin. Don't do that again. And 3, 2, 1. Continue, Kevin.
Tim was like, unlimited power. And then he cut off his friend's hand and shoved him out a window.
Bye, Kevin.
I'll be back in 20 years. I really hope he just shows up in something. And I hope the moment it happens, I just get a text from Tim and just says,
This is going to be... I'm gonna be so mad, dude.
I built a lightsaber.
I'm gonna be so upset.
I sent you the picture. Did you like my comment though? I made a purple one because I'm a badass motherfucker.
I didn't see that part. No, I saw you. You were like, I picked strength and defense. Like, I don't know what that means, Kevin. Good for you.
Actually, protection and defense. You do protection and defense. You're gonna do, what is it? It's power and
Excuse me. You already know what I'm going to do.
Tim.
Excuse
I'm gonna read you the 4.
Yeah,
I'm gonna read you the 4.
Yeah. Acting like you know me. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me find the sheet. Lightsaber here it is. Elemental nature, that's the one Hunter has.
Okay.
Protection and defense, that's the one I made.
Nice.
Peace and justice, or power and control. Tim, which one are you gonna make? I'm not even gonna show you the picture before I answer this question. Then I'll show you the picture. Tim, which one are you gonna make?
Oh no, I didn't know control was part of the. Well, all right.
Go ahead. I'm gonna hit upload as soon as you answer me.
Yeah. No, power and control it is, Kevin.
Yeah, there you go. Now you tell me.
Which one's power?
Even looking at it,
power
was
and
I
control
right?
The left one.
Bottom left.
Oh yeah, that would definitely be my lightsaber. Holy shit! Yep, that's me.
Just so you know, the way
mix and match.
So each line is a piece, and you can pick one of those two, and that's how you make your lightsaber, and then you pick your color.
Oh, so you couldn't have like, I want to be elemental and control.
So like Hunter put the Rancor tooth on the bottom of his, but he could have had that hook instead. He didn't do that patterned piece. He did the metal one.
Oh, protection and defense is dope. That looks like a temple guard lightsaber almost.
Which is why I want to go get Ray's crystal from Doc Ondar's, and then I'll have a yellow one, and then I will have a temple guard. And they fucking sell the mask for the temple guard, Tim.
No way.
Yes.
Oh. Is the dark saber there?
So cool. The random red crystals you buy at Doc Honors can be a dark saber.
But do they have the dark saber there?
So you just have to keep buying. They have a toy one. It's not like an extendable one or anything.
Ooh.
Some kid was running around with it, and I was going to pull mine out and challenge him to a duel to become the.
I'm Mandalore. I'm Mandalore. No, I'm Mandalore. Oh!
You actually stabbed that kid for his dark saber. Who is Mandalore?
I'm Mandalore now. He is dead. He's 7
and dead.
and dead.
Let's end it on a dark note. That's
Star
a
Wars
good
and
one.
Scotch is not condoned. He really is. He really is the chosen one, slaying younglings.
Rare Drop and its subsidiaries do not condone the murder of children for toys.
Only in Star Wars. Star Wars. That's funny.
Anyway, chat. I still call them chat. Do you do that? Do you do that all the time?
All the time, dude. Every time.
I still call them chat.
I look at Twitter. I'm like, stupid chat.
Because after you do this, everyone else just becomes chat. You are a singular entity that is chat.
Yeah, you're one.
It's
big
like a
group.
hive mind.
Yeah, and then you're like, chat's being stupid. And they're like, whoa, that one guy was being stupid. Not the collective here. That guy.
It's like the Drengir. You're a hive mind. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We'll have another episode out for you next week for episode 3 of the Bad Batch. Which
we'll
will be
have it
out
on time, I promise. Evan's not
Yes,
taking
'cause
another
I'm not-
vacation.
No, I'm taking my wife out to eat on Saturday. That's about it.
Ooh.
Yeah, we need it's funny because you go on vacation with the kids and then you're like,
You need a vacation from the
I
vacation.
need to spend some time with my wife, man.
Mhm.
Whew. Tim, you ever have tried? Oh no, you haven't because Kyler's been a COVID baby. So
Yeah, dude, come on.
trying to have sex in a Disney hotel room with 2 sleeping children like 10 feet away from you is not easy.
Well, Kevin, props.
Oh, I made it happen.
Props. This is a weird way to end the podcast. Props.
Perfect segue into King's Coast Coffee. Make sure you go to kingscoastcoffee.com and pick up what's the new one called? The Bali.
No,
Bali
that's sold out. They can't get that one.
All
they can
right.
get the Spring
well,
Surge.
You could look at the packaging.
No,
it's really
you can
nice.
get the Spring Surge. That's there. Dr. Lupo's Murder
Mayday.
Free Roast. Mayday. Yeah,
Mayday.
Trevor May's Mayday Roast. It's not because
Lots of
it's
good
not
stuff.
because he's great.
Mayday is my new drinker. Like that's gonna be my main one for a few months. My palate changes
Is
every.
he
I'd say 3,
throwing
4, 5
better?
months.
Is he doing okay?
They're in first place, so
Let's go, Trevor. Come on. Yeah.
keep it up, Trevor, or else. And then you can also go over to highscoretees.com and check out all of the GCX merch there. GCX.com/merch. And all of the wonderful stores on High Score Tees. Tim's drop just happened, and I just got the box for Tim's drop
Do you
today.
like it?
Well, I got it because my Kevin of the Month is going to be me doing the same photo shoot that you did for yours.
I forgot about that.
So I'm just going to be Tim, but you can only get that on Patreon. So you get to see Kevin of the Month, me as Tim. But that's it. Go check out Tim, fb.gg/darkness429, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern, fb.gg/darkness429, and darkness429 everywhere else. You can check me out. I'm Kevin X Vision on Twitter, but everything I do is Rare Drop and .co. So just go there and you can find all this cool stuff that we do and more episodes of this if you enjoyed yourself. But you have a wonderful day, night, whenever you're listening to this. And Tim and I will be back next week to talk about episode 3 of The Bad Batch and whatever the hell else is going on in the Star Wars universe. But as always, you say it, Tim.
May the Force be with you.
And with you!